Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of the ENC Draft League Season 4. I competed in Season 3 and got tied for 4th place, was eliminated in semifinals, which is, or I guess it's tied for 3rd place. Respectable placement for basically my first singles league ever. I think I did quite well, but I'm very excited to go back to doubles. If you're new here, basically if you're one of the ENC Draft League players watching, and you're not really interested in me yapping, because I tend to yap a lot, you can feel free to skip ahead. There's chapters in the video, so you can skip straight to the battles if you want. But we're going to start off by breaking down the team that I've drafted. I had first overall pick, and I decided I wanted Archaludon, mostly because if we look at the tiers, there's really not that many good steel types outside of S tier, right? Like, the fact that Metagross is, like, not amazing, but the fact that that's an A tier Pokemon kind of just says enough, because, like, Excadrill is pretty good, but you kind of want to run it on sand. Then nothing else really here. Look down in B, that's like where Corviknight is, which is, Corviknight's usually the scraping the bottom of the barrel steel type, and Tingaton is good, but it's not really offensive, it's more defensive, which I guess is what you kind of want steel types to do. Yeah, so I wanted a good steel type, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, give me just the best one. So I had first pick, so I got Archaludon. I was worried that I wouldn't get Rain because there was a question of the day in the Draft League server, and Lil Tekka said that he was going to take Pelipper, and I know Bokos loves to play Rain as well, so I was worried that one of them was going to take Pelipper and the other was going to take Politoed. Luckily, Politoed did stick around long enough for me to get it, which I was very glad about, because Archaludon without Rain is usable, but it's not optimal, right? You want Rain for it, like, at least as an option. And then my other A tier, I got Sinistcha. Very excited to use that. Great synergy with Archaludon. Archaludon's weak to just ground and fighting, both of which Sinistcha either resists or is immune to, and can redirect with Rage Powder, any strong attacks away. Next up, I decided to grab Overqwil and Florges in C. Overqwil is cool because it gives me an Intimidate option or a Swift Swim option, depending on what I need, and Florges is just one of the best fairy types remaining, because there's not many good ones with Fluttermane gone. Like the fact that Sylveon and Clefable, well, Sylveon probably would be A otherwise, but Clefable moved up to A, just because offensive fairies are in higher demand now. So the fact that, like, I can get a Mon that's, like, especially bulkier than Clefable and hits harder than Clefable in C tier, which is 2 tiers below, very glad about that. Next up, I got Luxray. I do think it's the best Mon in the U tier. There's really nothing good down here. Like, look at this. It's, like, mostly NFEs. So the fact that I was able to get a fully evolved Pokemon with Intimidate, very good. It's also an electric type, which I didn't have. But at this point, I'm starting to see, ground weak, ground weak, ground weak. I am only one ground resist. So I want something to help, because I also knew that I kind of wanted a fire type on the team at some point, even though it's rain. Still kind of want to have a fire type for the grass, fire, water core. Next up, I was planning on taking Donphan in U tier along with Luxray. Those would be my 2 U tiers, both very high base stat totals for U tier Pokemon. But I was looking a little too ground weak, like I just mentioned, so I decided to grab Gliscor. It's very similar to Donphan, except it actually has abilities. Donphan literally just runs Sturdy every week because it's either Sturdy or Sandveil, which doesn't do anything except into this exact matchup right here, the Sand team. But I grabbed Gliscor. It also has Sandveil as an option, but more importantly, it has Poison Heal for just pure healing that doesn't use up Leftovers or Citrus Berry. And also, interestingly, Hypercutter is an option, so I can be just immune to Intimidate, which is pretty cool. Next up, Salazzle. Basically, we have a system in place where, let me go to here, you get 1 S tier, 2 A tiers, 2 B tiers, 2 C tiers, 2 D tiers, and then an extra, which can be anything C or below. So Salazzle is a C tier. I grabbed an extra C tier. It was between this and Ambipom. Ambipom gives me Fake Out option for Archaludon. This gives me Dragon Cheer, which I thought was pretty cool. It also still gives me Fake Out, and it gives me a little bit more speed, because 117 is actually noticeably better than 115 speed tier, because nothing else on my team is that fast outside of, like my Swift Swimmers and Speed Booster, which I'll come to in a moment. I'll do this. I'll stay here so that I can go down the order that I actually drafted them in, because I drafted them way out of order. Next up, I got Gothorita. I do have a Trick Room option with Sinistcha, and having a second one just, makes it a little bit better. 2 Trick Room setters is always better than 1, because if you ever have one on the field at the same time, you can, on the last turn of Trick Room, if you predict a double protect, you can Trick Room with both of them. First one reverses, and the second one resets it to 5 turns again. Very fun. Also gets Fake Out, And it also traps, which is really good because I do have Politoed. And one thing that I like to do in draft is to sort of just have all the options on the table, because the more stuff that your opponent has to prep for, the thinner their resources are going to be spread. So, like, even though Perish Trap is not, like, an amazing mode for my team, it's something that I can do, and it's something that, you know, maybe even if I had got the Tell Politoed, my opponents would have to respect that, like, a lot, so they would have, like, you know, U-turn and stuff like that. But maybe got the Rita Politoed, maybe they don't prep for, you know, maybe they do, don't worry about U-turn or Terra Ghost or whatever to beat it. Yeah, very exciting. I've used it once before in draft. I do also just like Gotharita on weather teams because they can't switch their weather setters around. Like, if I lead Gotharita Politoed, even if I'm not going to Perish Song, because, well, spoiler alert, Collin is my first opponent somehow. That was just a funny coincidence. We got first and second overall pick, and then we also got to play each other first week. But he does have a weather option on his team with Ninetales Scovillain. So, like, let's say if I could, like, maybe trap in his Mamoswine Toxicroak, he can't switch Ninetales, and I just have the weather up. Next up, was coming back to B, because I just skipped my B and my other A tier. I was, around this point, Weavile was still around, and I was hoping to get that, since I didn't get Ambipom for my beat-up option. But then, no, it wasn't around probably here. It was probably right before I took Cyclizar. But Weavile went, and then at that point I'm like, you know what, just, fuck it, let's just wait, because I think at this point every team other than one had all their B tiers, and I'm just like, alright, give me a Conkeldurr, you know, when it came back to me. Honestly, Conkeldurr is one of those mons, and I feel kind of the same way about Mamoswine on Collin's team. It's one of those mons that, like, it doesn't really have synergy with anything on the team. It's just a strong Pokemon on its own, you know, like Mamoswine, right? Ice Ground, great coverage, but it doesn't, like, do much next to another Pokemon. It's just an offensive Pokemon, right? And a lot of the time, I kind of tend to undervalue that in draft. Like, I'm just like, what's it doing for my team? It's not really. It's just a fighting type, right? But, you know what? Fuck it. It's a fighting type. It's easily the best Pokemon left in B tier. Like, Dusclops, no, not for me. Magmar, I'd have dual Eviolite uses, which I didn't want to do. Palmot, don't need another ground weakness. Porygon-Z could be good. It's basically the same thing as Conkeldurr, just a strong attacker, right? No, not much synergy. Don't need another ground weakness, and then my Trick Room option is not that strong for Snorlax, whereas Conkeldurr can work outside with a Mach Punch, which is quite good. Or Drain Punch, too, you know? It doesn't matter if I take a hit as long as I get some healing back. Conkeldurr, also just a mon that I like, right? I got into VGC by watching Alex Zagloza back in 2015, and he, you know, just did a bunch of Wi-Fi battles, and he'd upload them daily, basically like Cybertron's Road to Rank, but he'd do, like, less, I guess, like 1 or 2 battles a day instead of, like, 6 or 7 a week, right? But, like, Cybertron does, like, 6 or 7 in one video a week, and then Alex Zagloza would do, like, 1 or 2 every day, for the week. Very fun, and he had a shiny Conkeldurr named Big Show, and I always thought that was really funny. So that was that's just my Conkeldurr story. Very excited to use it. I used it back in that gen because he used it, and I'm excited to use it in draft for the first time. And if you can see, I actually have made it shiny on my team page to honor that, to honor the Big Show. Next up, Yanmega. Like I said, you are kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here with these U tiers. I was considering Squawkabilly, but Collin said that he wanted Squawkabilly, so I wasn't going to snipe him. Because I did want something else to be immune to ground. I grabbed the Yanmega. It has either Speed Boost or Tinted Lens. Just what's the third ability though? Oh, Frisk. Oh, that's actually pretty good though. Yeah, Frisk, Speed Boost, Compound, or Tinted Lens. Tinted Lens means that nothing can resist my attacks, which means I could just Specs Bug Buzz. Maybe it gets Hurricane. I don't actually know. But Speed Boost is a big one because, like I said, my team isn't that fast. Having Speed Boost with access to Tailwind, that's basically like Prankster Tailwind, you know, with Tornadus removed. There are some Pranksters like Illumise, Volbeat, and Murkrow, I think, are the 3 Prankster Tailwinders available. But yeah, just having a fast Tailwind option is kind of cool. And basically, I could just double protect the first turn, which also has the benefit of, you know, dodging Fake Out and stuff. Then turn 2, just set up a Tailwind and then attack with one of my guys. And then very last, I was the last person to have an A tier remaining. There were like 3 left, I think. It's Hisuian, Arcanine, Porygon 2, Smeargle, and Basculegion Male. So I'm like, does anybody have a guess of what I'm going to take for my A tier? And they started looking like, what's left? And then they're like, oh, Basculegion Male. Because I was the first pick, right? It goes down this way, comes back and forth, and then it comes to be very last. Last pick overall in the entire draft league was Basculegion Male. Very good. And I do think my team was lacking some offense until I added this insane powerhouse. Like, this guy is so strong. But yeah. We can go over Collin's team real quick. He's got Dragapult, Gothitelle, Clefable, Mamoswine, Toxicroak, Illumise, Umbreon, Copperajah, Ninetales, Scovillain, Dugong, and Squawkabilly. So Collin was in the car when the draft league happened. So he had like sort of just texted me 2 or 3 ideas each time it was coming around to him. And then I'd pick them up for him. Basically, he wanted Dragapult overall first because it's really flexible. Like, Dragapult usually is not your stereotypical, like, broken Pokemon, right? Like, it's never, like, the best Pokemon in any format. But in draft, it's really good because it's very versatile. It's sort of like a Regieleki with a better move pool rate. And there's no Regieleki available here, so it's just literally faster than every single other Pokemon in this draft league, with the exception of, like, abilities, right? Like, Sneasler in the grassy terrain, or my Swift Swimmers under rain, or this guy under sun, you know, stuff like that. Next up, he grabbed Gothitelle, not intending to do any trapping, but, you know, just to have, and he likes Gothitelle. Well, actually, to trap, but not to perish trap, right? You can trap in, you know, any bad matchups, and Gothitelle, notably, is a lot better than Gothorita because it's just got way more versatility. Like, Gothorita does not hit very hard, whereas Gothitelle hits relatively hard, and it also just has item flexibility too. Like, you could run a Covert Cloak if you don't want to get faked out, you can run a Mental Herb if you don't want to get taunted, whereas Gothorita, you are locked to that Eviolite. Next up, Clefable. Clefable Dragapult, that's just like a core that sees play in actual VGC, because, you know, Dragon Fairy, they pair very well together. Notably, you want a strong Steel type, and he got a Steel type on this team, which we'll come to in a moment. Mamoswine, like I said, it sort of fits in the same boat as Conkeldurr, where it's just a strong attacker with pretty much unresisted coverage, which is really nice. Stab, which is much more better than unresisted coverage, unresisted stab. Now, next up, Toxicroak. Dragapult Sneasler is a core that sees a lot of play in regular VGC, because the things that stop Dragapult, you know, Steel types, Dark types, Fairy types, right? A Poison Fighting type beats all 3 of those. But he knew that his friend Gliss wanted Sneasler, so he wasn't going to snipe it. So he grabbed the budget Toxicroak, which I've used Toxicroak in draft, and I think it's really good. So yeah, he got that, and it's going to be pretty good. It also gives him Fake Out, and notably a water immunity too, because his Mamoswine is weak to water. But he doesn't have to be water immune, because if he wants to run his Sun Core that we'll come to later, he can just run Poison Touch instead. Next up, he grabbed Illumise. He got it pretty early because he wanted to be the first one to get it since Murkrow already went. I do think Illumise is probably better on his team because Murkrow is a B tier. Yeah, then he wouldn't manipulate his weather. But Illumise, nice priority Tailwind. His team's not like, I mean, the Dragapult doesn't really need it, but then these 2 guys are right in that middle speed where they love Tailwind, so that's kind of nice to have a priority Tailwind. It also gets Fake Tears, Charm. That's basically, since it apart from Volbeat. Volbeat gets what? Taunt and something else. Taunt and like Swagger, I think, are the 2. So like, I think Illumise is definitely better. Taunt is a big one to lose, but you know, you've got Taunt on like Toxicroak and stuff, and sometimes non-Prankster Taunt's better than Prankster Taunt into stuff like Farigiraf and the Indeedee, for example. Next up, we got Umbreon, just a strong Dark type. He definitely wanted one because Dark types pair quite well with Ghost types and Psychic types too. And this makes a very bulky Pokemon on the team. You know, Clefable and Umbreon, they're going to be very hard to muscle through. Gets like Snarl and Foul Play, so even without investment, it can still deal some big damage with Foul Play. And notably, these 2 Pokemon, their healing option is Moonlight, which heals more in the sun, and just, this wasn't intended, but he just happened to grab Ninetales later, just to have a sun option. So yeah, these guys are going to be incredibly hard to kill in the sun. Ninetales just, he needed a Fire type, and he's like, hey, there's a weather setting Fire type available, let's grab that. And he's like, what should I get? What Chlorophyllmon should I get, just to have an option? Should I get like Venusaur is too many points with Ninetales, because it was also B tier, I think. He's like, should I get, what were the remaining ones? Victreebel, Vileplume, Bellossom was down there, but that wasn't even considered. There's one other one that we were considering, and I'm like, yo, get Scovillain. First of all, it hits way harder than the rest of them because it has stab fire type attacks in the sun. Like, that stab in the sun is really powerful, even with low special attack. But the big thing is that Scovillain actually has a weird synergy with Dragapult, where you can use Spicy Extract, which lowers their defense by 2 and raises their attack by 2. Then use that with a Mirror Herb Dragapult, and then you can just use like a Dragon Darts or something, right? And then even one hit of the Dragon Darts is going to take out whatever, and then the other one will just do some chip to the other guy. Alternatively, you can also just go straight into the Dragapult with the Spicy Extract, and because it's Clear Body, you don't even get your defense lowered. Very fun combo. Also, you know, it has Rage Powder and Moody just to be annoying, although you probably don't really do that much with Clefable in the squad, but it's an option. Next up, Dugong. He wanted Amon that learned Perish Song, sort of for the same reason that I wanted Gothorita. Like, I have a good Perish Song user, and then I grabbed a mediocre Trapper, and he has a great Trapper, and then he grabbed a mediocre Perish Song user. So it's sort of like, if you have two, if you've the good one of both, then people are going to prep for it. But if one of them is bad, people are less likely to prep for it, because it feels bad to prep for a U-tier Dugong Perish Traps mode. But, you know, he's got it. Also, you know, gets Fake Out and Flip Turn and just a bunch of tech, and Icy Wind, Sheer Cold, no Freeze Strike because it's Water type. And then last up, Squawkabilly, just an Intimidator that has access to Tailwind. It's alright, and also can, you know, beat Guts Facade and stuff. Alright, we can jump into the team that I've built. I'm not going to ramble for too long because my throat is pretty sore right now. First up, we have this Politoed. Collin has used a Politoed similar to this in his past with Hypnosis Blunder Policy, and I figure, you know what, no better person to use it against than him. No, that's not why I chose it. I chose it because I expect to be clicking Rain Dance like a lot, and if I can click Rain Dance faster than like his Dragapult, that means I can make my Swift Swimmer faster than his Dragapult before it moves, right? So basically, I got the Hypnosis. I either put the Pult to sleep or miss, and then next turn I can set up the Rain if he switches in his Ninetales or sets it up manually with Illumise. That's also something that I talked about in our draft breakdown. I said weather teams that have a manual weather setter almost always win, right? The weather war, at least, maybe not the game. But I said Prankster, but there's one thing that Prankster loses to, and it's non-Prankster weather users, because basically the turn order will be the abilities go off first in order of speed, so the slowest ability will stay up. Then the fastest guy, which would be his Prankster guy, would use his Sunny Day. And then my non-Prankster Politoed will use its Rain Dance, so Rain will stay up if I click it on the same turn. Muddy Water is just a nice water type attack. It bypasses both of his redirection options. You know, hits Mamoswine quite hard. That's really the big one that I'm hitting Mamoswine with. It does like 33% to Copperajah unterrad, but it also has a 75% chance to miss one, I think, which is a decent chance to proc the Blunder Policy without clicking Hypnosis. Last up, I got Psychic for this Toxicroak. It'll kill if it's not AV, and if it's AV, it should two-shot even in rain, which is what the special attack's for. The speed puts me faster than Pult after +2 from the Blunder Policy, and then just max out the physical bulk, because physical attacker, physical attacker, physical attacker, and then Dragapult can go both ways, but Collin hates, like, using Amon's lower attacking stat, which is like, even though the base power of the moves is way stronger, like you got the 130 base power Draco Meteor and the 80 base power Shadow Ball compared to the, well, Terra Blast is 80, but you have to Terra to use it. And then Dragon Darts is 50 each. So, I don't know. I think Special's better here because also I've got, like, you know, low special defense Mon here, low special defense here, low special defense here. So I think Special's better, but I think Collin still might get baited into physical Dragapult just because he sees a lower number, but then like, he's not taking into account 95 versus 65, which is much better than his 100 special attack versus his 120 physical attack. You know, 30 difference versus 20 difference. Next up, we got Conkeldurr. Big show, of course. Drain Punch, Knockoff, Facade, Mach Punch. Basically, the name of the game is just hit stuff really hard. Drain Punch will one-shot Mamoswine unterrad. I have not calced against Umbreon because I don't think it comes, but it probably does a lot. It does a ton. It one-shots Copperajah if it doesn't Terra. Knockoff one-shots Pulse. I haven't calced against Rathotell that much, but it should probably two-shot it. And then Facade is a big one. It one-shots any Toxicroak, regardless of Terra, unless it's Ghost or Steel. One-shots any Ninetales. Should one-shot Illumise too. and in a one-shot fully special defense clef or physical defense clef after some chip. Then I have Mach Punch just that I don't have to run it in Trick Room. I can still, you know, Mammoth One's probably Focus Sash, but it could be on Toxicroak too. Lets me pop a Sash. Yeah, very excited to use this. Puts him in special defense to live 2 Draco Meteors from special Pult, because even though I don't expect him to do it, I still am going to prep for it. Next up, we got this AV Archaludon. Flash Cannon, Draco Meteor, Electroshock, Body Press. Very standard moveset. Unorthodox Terra type with the Terra Bug. Oh yeah, this is also Terra Steel. In my mock games, I've never clicked this, so I'm not too worried about the Politoed Terra type. Terra Normal for Facade and also makes me immune to Ghost. Terra Bug is the only Terra type that you can go to resist ground without also becoming weak to ice, which is what makes Mamoswine so strong. You know, like if you want to go flying to be immune to the ground, you're weak to ice. You want to be grass to resist the ground, you're weak to ice. You gotta go Bug, which fucking sucks. Luckily, he doesn't have anything outside of like Ninetales and Scovillain that really punish a Terra Bug, so I'm okay with that. There was a while that I had Dragon Pulse on here over Draco Meteor, but I needed max special attack to kill Dragapult. So I just decided, you know what, fuck it, lower it. Give me enough to 2-shot Leftovers full Spadef Clef with Flash Cannon, and then pop Draco Meteor, and then that'll get the Pult. Yeah. Next up, we get to the Basket Legion. This one, I'm quite excited about. I'm gonna try and bluff Swift Swim. I guarantee you... oh, this is a good time to mention. We have both gentlemen agreed to play on cartridge instead of Showdown. The league is actually a Showdown league, but we talked to Sigtrick, the moderator, and he said that, yeah, we can just agree to play on cartridge, because we just wanted to do it for fun. We haven't played a match on cartridge in forever, because our other draft league is not playing their games. They have until tomorrow to finish all of their games, and not a single one has been played. So yes, so we'll be playing on cartridge. I guarantee if we played on Showdown, he would miss the Mold Breaker message, but he's probably going to see it on cartridge. But even still, he thought Tatsugiri could absorb water-type attacks while it was in Dondozo's mouth, and I said, if it's in Dondozo's mouth, it's not Storm Drain, it has to be Commander. So that was just a funny interaction. He might still be like, oh, he's got Mold Breaker. But he's fast because it's in the... Yeah, you know, because it's Swift Swim. And no, that's just... he's a great player sometimes. I mean, I also overlook things, so no shade to him. Wave Crash, Last Respects, Flip Turn, Aqua Jet, on a Scarf. Max Speed Scarf is 1 point faster than Pult, which I think is good. I can try and bluff if he doesn't see the Mold Breaker. A big reason I have the Mold Breaker is because I don't want to be in a position where I've locked into one of my water moves, and then Toxicroak Last Bond comes out and walls me, right? Also, Terra Dark Toxicroak, which I think is the most likely Terra type for Toxicroak. It completely walls this, and it also is pretty good into... It actually walls this too. And I don't have a great... Actually, Poison. Dark doesn't resist Poison, so this will hit it. But Terra Dark Toxicroak could give me some trouble, so the Mold Breaker helps me deal with that. I was hoping to play this one close to the chest until I had to play, you know, a team like Glist with his Water Absorb Clodsire that he probably does Bring Burst to me, because look at how a Water Absorbing Ground type does into me. That's really good, right? Or the other one was the Gastrodon, you know, to switch in on my water type attacks. Where is it? It's on Eternal Victini? No, it's on Queen City Quagsire. Gastrodon. Did he switch it? No, there it is. It would still redirect my water type attacks, but it wouldn't be immune if I had Mold Breaker. So, I guarantee you he doesn't even know Basket Legion gets Mold Breaker. He probably thinks it's Swift Swim, Adaptability, and then probably Reckless or Rockhead like the other ones, like the Basculins. Terra Dark makes me immune to Prankster stuff from the Illumise, like Prankster Charm is the big one. Encore doesn't matter because I'm Scarfed. But it also notably will make me resist Ghost and resist the Sucker Punch from this Toxicroak, because I think it's probably got to have Sucker Punch. Next up, we get the Overquill. Crunch, Poison Jab, Pin Missile. Let's put this down to 50. For some reason, it wouldn't gen unless it was level 100. This is faster than Mamoswine. This amount of attack will one-shot, I think, mostly Spadef Clefable with Poison Jab. And it also one-shot max HP Dragapult with Crunch. Last slot, I had Liquidation to hit the Mamoswine, but I'm really expecting it to be sashed if he brings it, because, like, or either Sash or Pasho Berry, because it's, like, committing a defensive Terra to Mamo, like, it's good, because Mamo is good, but I feel like you really want, especially if you want to start on Physical Pult, you kind of need an offensive Terra on it for Terra Blast, or Toxicroak really wants Terra Dark, I think, like, a lot. Or Copperajah could also use that defensive Terra, because, basically Terra Water is good into my team, is what I'm getting at. So I dropped Liquidation on this last one for Pin Missile. And you see the Terra Bug Pin Missile, and you're like, oh, what is that gonna one-shot through a sash? It's not for anything offensive. It's to Pin Missile my own Archelodon, to proc stamina. That's what it's for. And in my mock battles, I clicked it maybe 1 out of like 50 times. But you know what? Fuck it. I don't need this last move slot for anything, right? I could maybe go for a cheeky Destiny Bond. But the situations in which I'm losing Overquill are usually when he gets his weather up, and then Destiny Bond doesn't even do anything if I'm slower. So that's that. Next up, and last up, I guess, we have this Terra Normal Gotharita with Psychic, Helping Hand, Trick Room, Protect, enough special defense to live, Choice Specs, Shadow Ball from Modest Dragapult, or Draco Meteor into Moonblast from Clefable, and then just a ton of physical hits. This has been a Trick Room option. At first, I was using Sinistcha, just to use a higher tier Pokemon, and also the healing is nice from Hospitality, but into stuff like Mamoswine is the big one. Mamoswine, it's weak to Ghost. It's also weak to I don't expect Embryoman to come, but this can do knockoff. This I guess he's gonna hit me with Ice with this, not the knockoff that it gets access to. But the big thing was being weak to Ice, and I'm like, fuck it, let's just use my other one that isn't weak to Ice. And it also can trap stuff. Like if he leads like 2 quick things, like, well, not Dragapult, because Dragapult can always switch, but like Mamoswine, Toxicroak, I think is a pretty likely lead. I can trap those in, and then just maybe get a cheeky KO early without him being able to switch. It's kind of nice, especially if the Toxicroak is AV, it won't be able to protect. So now he's trapped in against the Psychic type, pretty much forced to use his defensive Terra Dark if he wants to not just straight up die to a Psychic from this. Because, like, let's see, 116 hits a little bit less hard than Politoed stat-wise, but it does have the stab, that's pretty noticeable. So yeah, very excited about the team. I've mostly prepped for this. I've done some prep for that, and that. One of these other guys could come out and mess me up. I'm not certain on what's going to happen, but I'm excited regardless. I think it's going to be a good match. Collin and I usually have pretty good matches, so you want to stay tuned for that. Sorry, I did end up yapping a little longer than I intended. But yeah, we'll get right into it. All right, here we are on Showdown. Collin couldn't find his charger, so we're playing on Showdown, unfortunately. That's the squad. Yep. All right, let's accept. Oh my god, he did bring Scoville in. Let me pull up the squad. Okay, now I need to pull up the thing. GLHF. Okay, so he has, what is the big one that he's missing that I prepped for? Oh, Clefable. Yes, everything else aside from the Scoville was pretty much expected. In that case, I'm gonna lead. Do I go Trick Room game 1? So, Toxic, Dark, Water, Ghost, Steel. So it is defensive Terra that. Scoville, Steel, Ninetales is offensive Terra Fire. Could be Specs maybe, okay. Huh. Rain or Trick Room? I'm gonna do Trick Room first. And I'm gonna lead this. Alright, I'm gonna do this. Illumise and Dragapult. Is it worth it to immediately Terra? It's not Terra Ghost. No, I should live anything from it. This is risky. Okay, wait, I got this right. I got the turn right. Oh, I can't do that. He's gonna encore me. Okay, wait, this is really good. I eat that. Life orb, good to see. Okay, that has some defense investment. I tanked that. Got one turn of Trick Room left. That just kills. Should I reveal Mach Punch? Can I ever lose? I'm gonna reveal it, just to be safe. Helping Hand, Wave Crash. Nice. Does he have a plan for Trick? He like has like nothing for the Trick Room. I'm just gonna do the same thing. Oh, I'll post the tears again. I didn't even Terra in that first game. He didn't bring him Toxicroak or Mamoswine, which I think he probably will this time. That's like his adaptation to make. Maybe I go switch to Rain then. No. Not with Ninetales and Illumise. Because he has to bring, well, one of them, assuming Scovillain gets left. Was Special Pult, right? Life Orb Special. Helping Hand mattered. Bada Bing used that. Iron Man used Shadow Ball. Yes, it is Special Pult. That was correct, I think. I think Physical Pult was too much cope. Yep, Shang-Chi and Dragapult. Okay. Protect. Do I Flash Cannon? Or Draco. I think it's okay, because then I just Body Press next turn. So this is Life Orb, and it's special. Assuming Modest. Shadow Ball, Draco, Meteor, 90%, and then Toxicroak does. Okay, got the fake out correct. Oh my god, this is an amazing turn. It just hit. Ceaseless Edge moment. God damn it. Okay, knockoff was revealed. Big Show comes in. The Wasp. I just need chip on this. I guess I can figure out what item it is. I tear a bug. Maybe I will tear a bug. With Archaludon into Toxicroak. Flash Can's doing 20, and this is 16. Electroshot's that. I'll go for a Draco. No. Drain Punch, Terra Bug. I'll Flash Cannon it. Okay, I guess I'm Dracoing it. Oh, he took my thing. Ah, Flame Orb. That's a good tech. Dude! I missed 2? Alright, that's the next turn. We'll find out if it has the thing. The ability to protect. Oh my god, and a crit. Wow. Okay, Encore's over. He's just gonna Encore me again, though. Okay, the Hulk comes in. I'm going to Mach Punch and Body Press. Yeah. He kind of is forced to Encore this guy, but that's okay. Got some chip. Because he's gonna kill that. Yep, here comes the oh no, he didn't Encore, he's Bug Buzzing. Oh, and that kills. I guess because I Terra'd. Oh, because I'm Fake Tears. Alright, last respects. That probably kills at this point. Bye-bye. And bye-bye. Beautiful. Oh my god, I missed 2 Dracos and got crit close combated, but the Basculegion comes through in the end with the Choice Scarf. Ah. I gotta save replays of both of those. That. And then, yeah, I'll get that one later. Alright, I want to see if Collin wants to join. Hello.
Alright, what's up, gamer?
What's up?
Scarfish killed me.
Scarfish came in the end. Did you see what ability I was?
Adaptability, I think.
Mold Breaker.
Was it? Oh, did I just miss it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I said that in the team like team builder part. I'm like, I swear if he played on Showdown, he's not gonna see the Mold Breaker message, but he's definitely gonna see it on cartridge. So I'm nerfing myself by playing on cartridge. And then you couldn't find your charger, so we played on Showdown and you missed the Mold Breaker message.
You were right. I would not have seen it.
But that's because obviously the fish was Scarf, like you called correctly, or like you noticed. Yeah, I didn't want to get scarfed into Wave Crash.
Psychic Fangs?
Well, Wave Crash in your in front of your Toxicroak.
Yeah, I was really scared of Psychic Fangs. That's why I was Terra Dark on it.
I figured you'd be Terra Dark also. Did you have Sucker Punch? Because that's why I was Terra Dark on my. Oh, I thought you'd be Terra Dark with Sucker Punch for Basculegion.
I was knockoff because I.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You showed knockoff. Yeah.
Yeah. They kept telling me to run Sucker Punch, and I actually did test games for the first time because that's something with Sig Trick. And so he always does test games. And Sucker Punch did not come up a single time. which he also was not. He was Swift Swim and not Scarf.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
I figured you'd bring... I didn't think you'd bring Illumise and Ninetales. I thought you'd bring one of the two. So, like, it was very difficult for me to keep Weather up, because I ran just some mocks to see. I didn't...
So, Terra Fire Overheat killed Max Spadef.
Wow.
AV Archaludon. So it's okay. That seems like really... If I can get that off, didn't just steal a game with that. That seems really good. Also, I didn't have Mamoswine on there at all until... so Patrick made like 3 different teams, and what he felt like most likely, the least likely. And the thing that was giving me issue was Salazzle. Salazzle was killing me. I could not beat Salazzle with the team, and I had Clefable in that slot instead. And so okay, I need some Salazzle insurance, because I don't think you're going to bring it, but if you do, I don't have an answer. I need Mamoswine.
Yeah. No, I thought Mamoswine was still really good into Overquill and, Archaludon, right? So, like, that's why they're both Terra Bug, if you notice, because that's, like, the only Terra type that's good into Mamoswine.
Yep. There's mine.
Alright, I will pull that up on the thing. I'm just formatting the replay thing. This is CBC versus AA. Game 1 is that. 2. Did you... I mean, you were there, obviously, but I can't believe I missed 2 Dracos. The Ceaseless Edge moment happened. Actually, the second one, though, was actually good.
I probably should have seen Scarf coming when you outsped Ninetales. But I'm not max speed Ninetales, so okay, well, that's my fault for not running max speed then, I guess.
Close combat, fake out, gunk shot, okay. Yep, dry skin, Oblivious. Okay, actually, no, that's what I expected, Oblivious over, because I don't really have a great fire type, except for the Salazzle, which you were worried about, but you have Terra Water for that. I did. Oh my god, Thunder! That's awesome. I didn't even consider Thunder.
It didn't end up coming up against you, but I thought that was a really neat tech.
I like the Terra Steel Iron Man nickname. That's funny. And the shiny the Hulk. Bug Buzz, Fake Tears. That's the exact Illumise that I expected. Except I had Struggle Bug over Bug Buzz. But either way.
We were considering that, but I was doing actually decent damage with Bug Buzz, so yeah, I'll throw that on. And as you can see in Game 2, when I killed the Archaludon for half.
Specs, yeah. When I saw Terra Fire, my first thought was like, oh, it's probably Specs. Because I was prepping versus... I thought it might be Pasho Berry, and then I thought Mamoswine would be the Sash, but actually, it was Scarfed. And that's why my Scarf Basket Legion outsped it. Okay, that makes sense.
So I was pretty ready. I was like, okay, cool. If I'm doing these calcs correctly, I was like, okay, then High Horsepower should do about 70%, and the Bug Buzz should get the kill.
And it's faster.
It didn't. And then it was. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I also forgot that you could click Last Respects instead of
Wave Crash.
Wave Crash.
Yeah. Oh, because that's what the sun was for.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I can live.
Here, I could share my screen, because actually, you know that stupid thing that always happens to me, that Encore thing that literally only happens to me? That happened again this game. Because oh no, this is Game 1, isn't? Or no, this is Game 2, okay. When Illumise comes in, you Encore me. I was targeting the Toxicroak. I think I Drain Punched, and I think I Flash Cannoned into the Toxicroak, but because you Encored me into Draco, it redirects into this. Which, that was a good miss, because it kept my special attack higher, which puts Toxicroak in range later. Because that does 24, then the next one's gonna do, let's see. Bug Buzz, that is actually decent damage. Draco Meteor, 28, and then this is gonna do 26, I think. And then now you're in range to die. But you did end up clicking Close Combat, so it didn't actually change much, because I think you would have died to plus... No, you wouldn't, because it would need -2. So yeah, the minus... me missing the Illumise was good. The first turn missing the Dragapult was actually really bad, though, because that's why I didn't get Trick Room up.
Yep. I was like, okay, I could just Close Combat and Protect here, but I don't think he's going to fall for it. I think he's going to... I also still wasn't sure if you were AV, so you were not very high investment.
No, I was only like 76, I think.
So I was looking at the calcs, and that was actually... That was a high roll on the Spadef, that was a like really average roll if you were like 128.
Mhm.
Or it was a low, whatever it was. I was looking at the calculations. Okay, if there's this is a doing 77. It's more than you can do with max death.
Mhm.
And that's like way more than you can do with that. So I'm guessing it's just high investment without assault vest. Cause I was already thinking you weren't going to have assault vest because my team is pretty physical.
That's what I thought too. It was literally 4 Dragapult because I'm like, I know Collin loves physical Dragapult, but if there's ever a team he's gonna run Special Pult versus, it's me because this guy's got base 65, this guy's got base 65, this guy's got base 65, and this guy's also got base 65. Like if there's a week to run Special Pult, it's this one.
There was when I was doing the testing. If you didn't have AV there, minus
yeah, that would have killed. Yeah.
-2 Shadow Ball would kill. So, and I could have done just fake tears and Draco, and that would kill anything.
Yeah, I didn't because that's why I didn't expect Sash Illumise here, because I could tell that you were like max defense invested. I'm like, I thought the Illumise would be special defense because I guess that's probably because I was like Charm was an option, but you didn't end up running that.
Yeah, I figured it was living pretty well for most of like a lot of the hits are resisted anyways.
Yeah.
I also really just did not expect the Trick Room mode because
I know I didn't think you would.
Like, I was like, Clefable kind of like doesn't shut it down, but it does so well into it. I was thinking, okay.
Well, actually, Terra Normal Facade KO's like not max defense Clefable, but like decently defense invested Clefable.
The one that I had was max HP, 212 defense, and then a little bit of special attack.
Was it what nature? Modest or not modest? Okay, well, yeah, that would have lived. But I also did have the helping hand as well.
Yeah, that's true. I would not have lived helping hand. That was for that was a wave crash calc.
Makes sense.
But then I ended up not running that anyways.
I did also think that the Archaludon might like sort of scare you away from the Clefable, because I do have the option of
that was not the reason.
I did have the option of Stalwart, which I didn't run. If you'll notice, I did run my favorite move of all time down here. Did I send the replays? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good.
Gosh, I missed, so I'm gonna kill you.
I did a mock battle and I missed 2 in a row. I'm like, good thing I got this luck out of the way so that this didn't happen in the actual game. It's 95. That's actually insane if I miss double 95 in a row.
I like the nicknames.
Yes, I've not seen The Sopranos, so I just put a bunch of stuff that I knew about. I had to look up this and then this, but that only leaves Talking Fish, Bada Bing, and Gabagool, which is not the most knowledgeable of Sopranos lore.
Well, I did not notice that Gothorito is Terra Normal.
Yeah, it was for Shadow Ball. But when I saw that you were like I saw you were Life Orb game 1, the only thing that would kill me would be Specs. So that's why I didn't Terra at this game. I could have lived first turn. I could have lived here if I wanted to, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe he'll think the Shadow Ball's enough and then target the Archaludon, which you didn't.
But I was thinking about Terra stealing there, but I was like, okay, maybe he just doesn't click it, or maybe he misses again. That was really my hope.
Did I actually Terra? Oh, I Terra bugged. Yeah, I didn't Terra in the first game. I didn't ever Terra.
I noticed that in the game. I was like, oh, then you didn't need to. So.
Yeah, there's never a point that I needed to because this never took damage, and these guys their Terra would not save them from Heat Wave.
Yep.
I guess I could have actually done it to one-shot the Illumise, but I thought you're either... I thought you'd either be Sashed or, like... Well, either Sashed or Defense Investor, right? So...
I also had kind of forgotten that I had Terra Steeled already. Like, oh, that's cool. I can come in and take a body press.
What was
or Facade.
Was he Ghost?
So I can take either of his moves. Oh wait.
Oh,
no,
Steel, yeah.
So that was not a showdown issue. That was just that was happening on card 2 if I switched it out. Yeah, that's just a.
I just like I called it Talking Fish because I don't know what character it's supposed to be. Also, the reason he's shiny is because he was supposed to be in a Dusk Ball, but it didn't come through because we didn't play a cartridge.
Sorry.
It's okay. Also, look at the Polytoad that I ran. This is an old classic from when you used to use
Polytoad. I did notice. Oh, Muddy Water this time for the extra
for the extra chance to miss. Yeah.
I see.
And Psychic for the Toxicroak. Was it?
God, you only had Protect on 2 mons.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was AB. Yeah, and it was the 2 that mattered. Because, like, I was considering, I'm like, because originally I had Florges on the team. Because that does quite well into Pult, what's the Clefable?
That's another reason I added Mammo. I was having trouble with Florges, too.
And then I dropped it because it was bad into these 2, right? So, the reason I had Protect was because Fake Out into, like, high horsepower is just a lot of damage into that lead. So I would just double Protect on the Fake Out. But then, like, I took Florges off for... I think I actually didn't have Archaludon on the first draft of the team. I added it later. And then I just had Protect, but, like, AV, Choice Item, this just needs all 4 moves. And then this one kind of also needed all 4 moves. So I'm like, do I keep the Protect? I'm like, no, I think if he leads Toxicroak, I think he is going to Fake Out this to try and stop the Trick Room, which is kind of exactly what happened here. Because I know a lot of times people don't like to run Protect on their support mon, just to have 4 attacks. But
I was actually feeling the opposite problem. I was scared that you weren't, so you didn't know you were AV at that point still because of the cow. I was like, I think that's he's going to protect Archaludon.
Yeah,
and
it was Citrus Berry.
KO on it.
On the first draft, on the first draft I added it to, it was Citrus Berry, and then I changed it. Also, this was
running Power Herb.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, this was a Sinistro too, and then I decided I liked being able to trap in like Toxicroak and like Illumise and stuff.
Yeah. That was actually a mon that we didn't really consider was Gothorita.
I mean,
I know what it does.
It was pretty comparable to the Sinistra. Like either one, like they just set up Trick Room. I did expect the Encore on whatever screen you did at game 1. That's actually why I have Helping Hand on it actually, because there were some situations where if I predicted you to go for Encore, I go for Helping Hand, which is higher priority, so you can't make me reverse the Trick Room, and then I still get something out of the turn instead of switching. But in this case, I actually just wanted to switch. So I just switched. Because that gives me my burn, and without a chance for you to knock it off like you did game 2. High chance to kill, but without the Mach Punch damage did actually guarantee it. Oops, I skipped too many turns.
Yeah, I knew you would do it, and I was like, okay, well, I gotta get damage where I can.
Yeah, in that position, like, there was no reason not to do that, because if, I didn't know you were Scarfed yet at that time, because I'm like, okay, you could Ice Shard me, but it doesn't even kill me, so I'm just gonna get the free damage, because, like, why not? And then try and clean up with the Basculegion in the end game. Also, that's actually not the reason why I did it. The reason I did it is because I still thought that this could have a Sash, and that's why I broke it.
Oh, yeah.
So I broke the Sash.
That was very important.
This, because that's like what my lose con would be if this was Sashed, I hit it with that without breaking the Sash, and then you, high horsepower, and then would do Bug Buzz, yeah. Even though I don't think that would kill, you'd need a crit or something with the height. No, I don't know how much high horsepower does. 70%, and then this does 13. Yeah, so yeah, that could kill, but you'd need 2 of them, which I don't think you can get, because, yeah, you're gonna die to the thing. I don't know.
Well, no, I think I would have, because, I high horsepower and Bug Buzz, you have to kill the I get 2 Bug Buzzes off.
Oh, you're right, because it's still alive. Yep, you're right, you're right.
You have to use one more turn, but yeah, so it was always right to Mach Punch. I mean, it's always right to Mach Punch no matter what, for free damage, but yeah. I would have been a lose condition if you don't, and I am Scarf.
Sash, yeah.
Or yeah, Scarf. Yeah, I was not Scarf, and I was Sash.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, good games again. You did beat my ass.
Yeah, don't worry. We're on the same team now. Now we prep together.
Yes. We had to get it out of the way week 1.
Yeah, of course.